Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Review. Let's go. If you haven't already, hit them like buttons wherever you are, subscribe, make sure you know when I'm going live, right? So that you can get things like this hot off the press. So as you guys, if you was following me yesterday, you know I did a review of the HX1, this pedal right here, the Line 6 HX1. And while I was doing it, I received the TC Electronic Plethora X1. Now, I don't get, I'm not endorsed by any of these companies, so I get to speak freely. It's one of the benefits of, following me. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. But past that, you get the honest review. So one thing I've never really talked about is I've actually always loved TC Electronics effects. So things like the the shaker, that's tremolo pedal, It's one of my favorites. We went through that sound in there as well. Um, I always loved their Hall of Fame reverb pedal, which was the first sound we were listening to. And I'm a lot of these other effects by TC Electronic. I now, instead of spending, let's see, each of these pedals is about $100 each. Each of these effects. So if you had to get a shaker tremolo pedal or a shaker vibrato pedal, um, that's a hundred something bucks. If you had to get a Hall of Fame pedal, that was $100 and something bucks. You see what I'm saying? But now for 129, they on sale right now. For $129, you can get pretty much all of TC Electronics effects on one pedal. And yes, it's one slide at a time. But if you take into account, um, you really don't. It goes on your pedal board. It can go anywhere. Like it does the compression. It does everything. So just like it does not do everything that the HX1 does in terms of that, but it's also about $120 less. So it's about almost half the price of the HX1. And for me, I love the way every single effect in here sounds. I love the way everything in there sounds. Like it's just insane. And I cannot stop hitting this camera. I'm sorry, guys. I keep doing it. But hold on, let me make sure we still good. Let me fix this camera for you guys. Yeah, we good now. So for these HX1s, they're running $300 on the regular, man. That's a lot. It's a lot to ask. But with this being $129, $130, that is totally worth the price of admission. Seeing how one of these pedals alone could run you, one of the effects that this can do alone could run you $100. The fact that they gave you their entire collection, plus all the editing software and everything else on here, this is pretty much exactly what it says, a tone print loader. So you can create your own on there. All these effects, I didn't even download or use the software to create any of these. All these are effects that I've altered and took time to go through. And we're going to go through a few more of them. And I created these right on the pedal. So let's go through how you even operate this thing. So first off, it's stereo in and out. That makes for amazing effects. That's just so beautiful. That effect alone for me is worth the price of admission. We can go home right here. We could go home right here. That's worth the price of admission right there now. But it is an absolute. It puts a smile on my face to play it. Like it just sounds great. Look how massive that reverb sounds. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, now you cannot beat that. And, just for a comparison between the three, just a quick comparison. because I'm gonna do an actual video comparing these three all together, which is the reason I'm throwing this in there, because this is actually slightly above the price range of these two, but these two are actually about the same exact price. The Plethora X1 and the Zoom MS-70 CDR Plus. Literally, you can probably buy both of these for, well, actually you can buy both of these for $260 compared to this is on sale for $250 by itself. And not that this doesn't sound good, it's just for $250, normally $300, this is asking a bit much of a consumer when you got things like the MS-70 CDR Plus and the Plethora X1 just being released. So yeah, let's get to it. Do a quick comparison with the shimmer. So that's the Plethora. Here is the Zoom MS-70 CDR Plus. And yo, the Zoom joint fire too, yo. Don't the Zoom joint is fire. Don't sleep at all. And like I said, I don't like every effect in this HX1, but I do have quite a few effects that I do like. So I would say this is only reason I wouldn't recommend this is because it just costs too much. It's just for one effect that at a time for $300. That's asking too much. It's 2024. You got stuff like these two out, which sound amazing. But let me hop over here and go down to this. And mind you, I'm going to be creating presets for all these that will be available for you guys to buy. So on my Patreon right now, if you want any of my presets for the C4 synth, the MS-60B Plus, Zoom B6, or the ToneX series pedals and stuff, got 11 different preamp packs for all that good stuff. But check them out. So that's another great sounding one as well. That's definitely an option, if you have a Helix or something like that already. But for me, the Plethora just sounds the best. So for it, just depends on what you would like there. You can brighten. You could definitely have that Hall of Fame preset on here, shimmer, brighten that up. But That's what I said. You know, it just depends on your taste and what you value. You know what I'm saying? For me, um, I'm just gonna be upfront. I actually love this TC electronic pedal. For when you really think about it, like the main difference between this one and this HX1, the Plethora X1 and the HX1 by Line 6, is gonna be for me that these are all emulations in the HX1. You know, some of those are Line 6 original ones, but a lot of your favorite effects on there are emulations of other effects that already exist. And a lot of them, or at least some of them, are actual TC electronic effects. So like the chorus and things like that, the Corona chorus. If you get the HX1, you're getting an emulation of what this pedal actually is. So any of their effects from different previous pedals into it, like the Corona chorus, or the viscous vibes, or what's the, I forgot what the delay is called, but the Hall of Fame. They also have the Brainworks Octaver, as well as the Sub and Up. The They got this phaser, the Helix phaser on there. They got the shaker vibrato, which like I said, is just one of my absolute favorite effects. You could just have it so subtle. I have it set subtly there, but you can, if you wanted to, like ramp that up a lot. But for me, I always love the subtleness of it. You know, for me, a lot of times when I'm using vibrato, I'm using it. I want to have it very subtle like that. You know, it's not an effect I like to particularly overdo. So that provides the perfect amount for me. You know, in terms of what I like to hear. That's perfect for me. Now, which one is this? This is the chorus. Oh no, it's not. This is let's go here to the delays. Even the delay, everything is fire on here, mind you. So let's just go over a few details with this pedal. So basically, these three knobs, A, B, and C, can be assigned to different parameters depending on what you set them to. But here they're already preset when you get them. But you can go in the app and change all of that, like literally. And if you want to use A or B, you have to literally use this toggle here. Well, hold this down. Use this toggle here, and you'll be able to change things like the what this foot switch does. You know, instead of it when you holding it, what does it do? So pretty much like sometimes when I hold it, it'll do mash. Let me see. Like this one's set to ramp. So speeds up. When you hold it, you know, but you got different options for what this foot switch can do when you hold it. You can also change whether this is true bypass and some other stuff, but the true bypass definitely is really good. So nice clean true bypass on there, but all these effects are good. Like that's what I love about it. Even the harmonizer, I love the way the harmonizer sounds as well. Sounds really good. So yeah, definitely. Even the harmonizer effect on there is really good. Like all of these are usable effects. That's the thing I really love about it. You know, is it my favorite thing that I can't get multiple effects at once? No, not necessarily. But I also understand like high quality effects use more processing power. Um, of course, Zoom does a great job of cramming in some great effects and quality at a reasonable amount of quality. But it's a reason why this one sounds just slightly better. It's just a little bit more processing probably going on here, processing power going on here with one effect at a time versus this having to be have 6 slots available, at once. But all of these ones in the MS-70 CDR Plus are passable as well. But um, these joints are fire, and it's just some of these of my more favorite effects that I've run across have been some of the TC Electronic ones, especially because I used to have one of those BG 115 amps. I think it was the first series of combo amps they started making, and you used to be able to beam in different effects and things like that into the amp. So that was always one of my favorite things, and now I have them all. You got this doubler on here. So you get a real nice doubling effect there that you can easily manipulate. So each slot can be two different effects, and you pretty much just hold when you have it set up for A/B switching. It could be this switch can be a momentary switch, a latching switch, unlatched. What else they got? A ramp. It just depends on what certain effects, different things are available, but the A/B option is also available on there. And so it allows you to access the secondary slot for each one of these 7. So giving you 14 altogether, which is cool. You know, I mean, it's not all the effects in the world, but at the same time, a lot of times for something like this, for 14 effects from one company at once is all you really gonna use. I mean, if I'm using one effect at a time, 14 is pretty good. Now that is something that the HX1 has a leg up on. It has way more slots on here. How many is this? I think it's 127. This is regular old MIDI. Yeah. So 128 slots for this, for the HX Line 6 HX1. So you get 120 slots here plus MIDI and foot switch expression pedal in on this. So, but is that $300? You know, is that almost twice the value of this? You know, because this is $130 right now. They got this on sale for $250. So is that really double the value for those extra features? It just depends on who you are, what you like. You know, like I said, this definitely, I did a review on this yesterday. You can check it out on the HX1. But this Plethora is something special. It just sings. It just makes your bass sing just so lightly, ever so lightly. I just love the way TC Electronic has some really warm effects for them to be digital, in my opinion. That is nice, and that's what I'm looking for a lot of times when I'm using digital pedals. That nice, which one gets me to closest to a nice warm sound. So it just delivers where you want it to deliver at. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the warmth of a sound. And the chorus sounds, you know, super massive as well. I can't stop kicking this camera to save my life. I'm sorry, guys. Can't stop kicking this camera to save my life. But so let's do some comparing of things. You know, it's like I said, it's just without the app, having the app to show you guys for some reason. Now I will pre-warn you guys, I haven't been able to get it to connect to the app. Now I'm sure TC Electronic will fix that. I'm sure they're going to fix it, but so far I haven't been able to connect it to my MacBook Pro or my Android phone. So that is something to pay attention to at the moment. You may want to wait a little bit to grab one until they fix that, but I can honestly say even right now, I haven't even touched the app with it, and I've been able to create all those different sounds. Those are completely different than the stock sounds that came in there. So, oh, yeah, so I guess I can mess up one of my sounds. Let's see, which one do I like the least? I don't care about this one. So, if you don't press this and use this toggle here, if you just use the toggle by itself, you can actually get to different types of each effect that you have. Subbing up. So I can use this little toggle here, and now I can toggle through a few different types of that effect. So this one says hot. What's this one say? Hot pot mod. Make sure I hit that like button too. I keep trying to tell y'all, you guys subscribe so you can know when this stuff going down on the regular. You know what I'm saying? I give you this stuff early. Like soon as this joint drop, y'all getting this. You go look up this pedal and see how many people done got it done already. Look, we getting it done today. Let's go. But and it's probably because of the app, like I said. So, you know, if you like me and you want to jump into it and grab it early, I know they'll fix that thing with the app, the connectivity with the app. They did an update, but it didn't work for me. And I don't have that old of a phone, and my laptop is not old at all. So, but, all right, let's go. So you get... Right, and I can also, if I don't want to have that organy sound, I can go here. I can change different octave level, take that bottom one out. Bring it back in. I can take out the dry signal. Upper octave, take that out. So essentially, it's set up to function, you know, in this particular mode, set up to function like a regular octave pedal with basically octave down, dry, and octave up. So that's why I mean, it's got all my favorite TC electronic effects in there. So that's how could I not love it? It just sounds so good. Like to me, at least, every single one of these effects sounds great. You know, so definitely something to look out for. Let's see what we got here. Appreciate y'all stopping by, Jason, Mesa, and Hippo. Yeah, you got the entire collection in one pedal. Bow. And not only that, it's smaller than the HX1. Like, it doesn't have all the features of the HX1, but to be honest, like I said, all these effects in here that you like are just emulations. These are the authentic algorithms that they use to put in their pedals that you already love when you were listening to them in the first place. The same ones you could beam into your phone and all that stuff, into your pedal and all that stuff. You know, it gives you access to all of it, including compressors like the Spectra Comp and all that stuff is in here. Where is it? That's that flashback, of course. It really sounds good. And feel free to ask questions about the pedal. Let me know if there's something you want to see me go through on here. But I'm going to go through a few different types of this stuff. I guess I'm just going to have to mess up my settings. It is what it is. See the things I do for you guys. Have to mess up my settings. Or at least a few of them. So I'm gonna go through some of these delays that they have pre-set up on here. So it's like you even with having 14 slots, you still have. Let me see. Like for this delay, you have you have access to the 2290 delay. Then you have an analog delay. You got a dynamic delay, a mod delay, a reverse, and then it has another one to get back to the default setting of the pedal. So you can have a mod. So, like each of these knobs right here, like when you're hearing that, it's three different parameters that it's controlling with each one of these two knobs here. You know, this is just the volume of the pretty much effects level, but each of these knobs is not just controlling one, but multiple parameters, which is amazing. It makes your life so much easier and simplistic, you know. And that is one advantage that I will say that you have over this HX1 with this. You can set these knobs, even though you know, over here you have different, you got to scroll, right, to get to the different parameters. And these three knobs are knobs, and they're also buttons to assign this to the mash, the flux rather, on here. But flux and mash are pretty much the same thing. It's just something you assign a parameter to, and it just morphs between two settings pretty much. So with this one, this plethora, it allows you each of these two knobs or three knobs, you know, A, B, C, can be assigned to up to three parameters each, giving you control over a lot for one thing, you know. And this is just the noise gate. Which is actually really good. Here's a Spectra comp. So even there, you know, it brings a value. I had to buy that Spectra. I got a Spectra comp off to the side there, and I had to buy that separately. So that's like $80, $100, something like that when I bought it. So even just if I used it for a Spectra comp pedal, I'm still, you know, it's not the full abilities of it, but that's covers that pedal. You know, that would have been a pedal I wouldn't have had to buy. But I prefer it as or I could have just bought, you know, I would have, if you'd asked me to buy this or a Spectra comp, I would have bought this. Or if I needed more than one of these instances, I would have got two of these or just went ahead and got an X3 or X5. Now, but of course the Spectra comp was out first, so you know how the game is. That's how they get you to buy stuff. Yes, the noise gate is fire. Noise gate is fire. The Spectra comp is a fire. I actually have that actual pedal. Like I said, all these effects are awesome. Like any multi effects you get right now is going to be having some chorus that's trying to emulate a TC Electronic chorus, a Corona chorus, or the other ones, tri-chorus or something like that. But all of them, even Zoom. So it's like with this pedal, you actually get the authentic thing, and it's still a multi-effects pedal, which is amazing. Like that, for me, that makes this a totally worth the investment, because guess what? When they stop making all these effects and stuff, you know what I'm saying, the separate pedals, you're still going to have access to all these different types of effects. Like I said, if I want a chorus, I got a chorus right there. And it's warm. Look at the warmth on that. Did you hear how much, like, when I turned it off, how much it just, like, same thing I was playing before, but just like it shrunk. But when I turn it on, watch how much it expands back out. Ooh, the warmth, it just adds like a certain texture. Like all their effects have this certain warmth and texture, like that is makes it easily recognizable to be a TC electronic effect. It's weird. I don't I don't know how they did that with their algorithms, but they sound just so warm. Like even though I'm like so I just turned it off and I was just using the chorus on that. So I was doing the HD Hall on here with the ping pong delay, right? Which is a nice effect by itself. But when you put that chorus from the TC Electronic on there, that chorus make you want to leave it on all the time. Like that, and that's what you want. Like when I play an effect, I want it to make me want to play it all the time. That's one thing I can say I do miss about a lot of these just like these emulation pedals sometimes. Like I love all, the Zoom pedals and stuff like that. But this one has a special characteristic to it that it's not, I guess because it's not trying to emulate anything. It is exactly what it is. It's just all of them together, which is crazy. Like, it's like these get you some great effects now. Like, I could easily sit here and go effect for effect, but I'm not doing that because it's not that video. You got to subscribe, like, and share. Hit that like button for me while you hang. I see you hanging. Hit that like button for me. Let me know this is what you like. Also, why we stop now? You know what I'm saying? Y'all can check out the Patreon if you want to support the channel more. You can also catch my packs for the MS-60B Plus on the Patreon. I got a pack for the Zoom B6 on the Patreon. 47 different synths available on bass synths available on the C4 synth. Got that pack on there, and then 11 different preamp packs and my personal ToneX ToneX 1 preset pack on there as well. So all 11 different types, the Magellan, the Aguilar AG preamp, the Ampeg SGT, all that's available on the Patreon. So, all right, cool. Now let's get back to it. It just, while these are trying to emulate other company stuff, and I love how Zoom does it there. It actually has some really nice stuff like that. Shimmer is emulating another company's reverb, but the one on the TC Electronic just sounds amazing, and it doesn't sound like any of these, like, and because it's not trying to emulate anything. Like some certain effects on these two sound almost identical in certain ways because they are emulating the same chorus or the same flanger. This one actually it's not emulating anything, and that's what it makes me smile every time I play it. Like, let me see, what else does I have on this side? Yep, that is so nice. So does this, sometimes we get caught up in the marketing numbers, what I like to call them. So things like the HX1 is time all day, Sweetwater already did a video about it, Plethora X1 or the HX1, but they're not going to say it plainly that this is so much more of a value than this is. To be honest, just being honest, this has a lot of, especially for basses, especially. This has a lot of, the majority of those 250 effects are for guitars, and you're never going to use them on bass because they don't have the parameters bass need, like a wet dry mix or a mix knob, things like that. And it also, you know, it's just the majority of those are meant for guitar, while these are just, I feel like when TC Electronic made their effects, it's just in general, like you can use these for keyboard, you use these for anything, and they all sound extremely warm. I only like certain ones in here. So for example, let's see, where is it? Now, like I said, I do like that they got certain little things on here. Let me see. This analog flanger on here sounds great. Yeah, so they got a question on the flow of if you can chain. No, so basically, both of these, the reason why these two are really comparable are because both of them are one effect at a time. The main difference is this is all the effects from the Helix, which are still emulations of other people's effects. For instance, they got a Regal bass DI in here, which is a Noble emulation. And just a little tidbit: if you have a B6, that Tube 1 is a Noble emulation as well, or what I believe to be a Noble emulation at least. But the Plethora, so one effect at a time, 6 effects at a time. This is like 130, 250, $300. So they already have an X3 and an X5, a Plethora X3. So that's 3 effects at a time, and then an X5, which is 5 of these. Pretty much, they just came out with this one. If you just wanted one effect at a time, and this fits way better on your pedal board than that. Now, I think their next step that would be awesome would be allow. It's not going to be able to be done with this unit, but the next unit they come out with, if they can make 5 or 6 of these available in this size package, like Zoom does here, where you can have 6 effects in a row, and bam, that would be amazing. But you got to realize part of the reason why these sound so good is because it's one at a time, and it's just the amount of processing power for this is more than each individual effect in here is using. You know, so they had to restrict each individual effect in here's processing power in order to be able to string together 6 of them. That's why even sometimes in these Zoom units you can't use all 6 slots. Sometimes you can only use 5 or 4 depending on how many bigger, more processor intense effects you're using. So, but with this, it gets the full out blast. You know, that sounds so good. Let me see. Let's go back here. So this is, I think this is the flanger on there. Let me see. This is the X1 analog flanger. I love this on here. This analog flanger on here is fire. It's just, my only thing with these is for the 250, 300, I would have to sit this. Where would I put this on my pedal board? I already know I want this at the end of my, I don't know why. I can figure out where I want this more than I can figure out where I want this. And it's not because of the variety either, or the 250 effects. It's just that this definitively sounds good at the end of the chain because I could, you know, those effects are so warm and tasty, I can put them at the end of anything and they're gonna, you know, sound great. But compared to this, only certain effects, the effects I like on here are like all different types, so I can't figure out where I would want to put this. One day I might want to use this analog flanger. The next I might want to use like the shimmer effect, or, and, you know, so forth and so on. Yeah, you know, so yeah, for the price of 130 and 130, you can't go wrong with either one of these for the price. As a matter of fact, you could skip this joint and get both of these. And it's going to cost you just $10 more. It ain't going to tell you but nothing, $10 more. And you get 7 effects at a time if you got this and this. And you get a lot of the stuff that you, you know, and these 2 pedals don't have any drives. I don't think I saw any distortions or overdrives with these pedals. But you get compression, delay, reverb, all the modulation types, and octavers in here, and harmony pedal, noise gate, and I'm trying to think, is there anything else? I think that's it. So, but it's 14 different effects altogether that's available on that Plethora X1. So that's that flanger. I think this is actually the phaser. Let's see what else we got on here. Oh no, this is the flanger. But as I said, I really like this analog flanger on here, but these are amazing too. And I'm sure once I can get the app up and running, So even with whatever they got loaded in just into the pedal, you get options with each one. Like I said, this is the Spectracomp pedal right here, but I get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different I guess these are tone prints. I have 5 different tone prints of that one of the Spectracomp loaded in there, and I can flip through them. So I wonder if in the software it's gonna allow you to customize these 5 when the software updates. Like I said, don't go grab it now and expect to be able to get on the software, because it ain't ready. The tone print app is not ready for this yet. They still gonna have to do another update in order to be fully functionally editing these joints in there. So, but as is, you can do quite a bit with what's already set up just out the box. And and what this really makes me happy is, in terms of noise gate or any of that stuff, the noise gate's amazing. Everything in here is good. Like, the subbing up, you can use that for various things, depending on what you like. You might want to go be just like an octave down type of person. Here's the phaser. Yeah, so basically, even though it doesn't seem like it has a ton of variety in it. It has a lot of variety for each effect. You just gotta hit this little switch here. It's gonna give you different tone prints that way. And then you also have the A-B switch. So A on this one I got set to the sub and up, and B I got set to the phaser. Well, not me. Well, this is how it came, but I altered all these patches just as you can see. Well, as you saw there. Matter of fact, let me put this back where I had it. Boop. So, in my opinion, this is just me. This is a go. Like, even though the app isn't up working yet, needs to be updated to accommodate this new piece of gear, but this pedal, pull the trigger on it, and I think you'll be happy with what you, even with it's right there in the pedal, even if you never got an app. Even though when you get the app, now you've really got extensive parameters, and really can get really super detailed in there. And like I said, each of these three knobs allow you to assign 3 different parameters to each of them, and you can control up to 3 different things just with one knob, which makes like all those parameters, you be able to have a even wider variety of effects that way. And with it having 14 different slots, with most of these have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tone prints for each effect in there. So 14 times 5 basically is that 70 something. I don't know. I'm not good at I'm the Bass Negus, not the math Negus, okay? Don't kill me. But it's rolling with that 5 for the 14 is crazy. That's insane. That's actually a lot of options. So while it's not like plainly laid out as 128, presets and have MIDI, which most of us are not going to use. Let's just be honest. Most of us are not going to use MIDI if we get this pedal, this HX1. It's $300 normally, $250 on sale compared to this is on sale for $130. I believe it's $170 brand new. These is brand new, but normally it's $170. These are normally $130. I'm definitely keeping this, and this is definitely going to make its way onto my pedal board for sure. Like, there's not even a question in my mind that this is going to find its way, especially even if I just kept it on this shimmer. Once I heard it, I said, "Oh, that is my sound right there." Woo. That joint gets spiritual on you. You know what I'm saying? That joint get you spiritual. That joint make you be like, ooh, take it right on into worship. What's going on, Laurie? How you doing? Ooh, such a beautiful sound. But having that on deck, and then the fact that I can have any of these modulations on and run any delay or reverb from here into any of these modulations, like, also allows this to be at the end of a chain as well. In stereo, like, running this joint in stereo is a game changer. Like, listen, all of these in stereo is the move, including the B6. With the B6, I actually run a TRS quarter inch to two TS quarter inches. So, well, or, the regular ones. Basically, stereo to two mono quarter inch outputs. And then I split that into the HX1, and I'm running it. So this is probably not going to make the cut. I'm not going to lie to y'all. This definitely making the cut, because once they stop making all these effects, I'm going to be mad. So having them all right now just makes it amazing. I might even go up to an X3 or X5, depending on how I feel. But just the fact that these sound amazing, I could throw this on my pedal wheel, even my small one, and it's not going to take up any more space than this will, So that's the key. Like, this is a little bulky to be on a smaller pedal board, and be only one effect. This is a normal size pedal that does one, the same size as a pedal that does one effect. So I expect if I get something this size, it's gonna do more than just one thing, or at a time. It's plus I really don't see me using a lot of this stuff in here. And like I said, it's got some really good stuff in here, but take that TC electronic off. It just sings somehow. But yeah, so definitely, if you want to wait a couple weeks because you want to see if they're going to do the update, which they will, I guarantee they got to, because it's not connecting some reason. These are amazing. If they happen to pull them off the market, they'll be worth even more. But the MS-70 CDR Plus, definitely worth it. This, not so much. Just way overpriced. If they cut that price in half, sure, we can talk about it. Because it does give you a great variety of effects, everything. It gives you a little bit of everything, but no bass amps or nothing like that. But it gives you a bunch of overdrives and distortions you're not going to use, and only 3 bass ones. And then it gives you a bunch of compressors you're not going to use, except for one. That's really good. And gives you a bunch of EQ stuff that you're not going to use, because why would you buy this pedal for $300 to use it as an EQ pedal? You're mostly going to use it for modulations, delays, and reverbs, and possibly some of the pitch shifting stuff or synth in there. But I don't like the synths like that. You might as well get you something like the C4 synth. If you're really looking for synths, I can't really justify buying this pedal instead of just buying the actual pedal that I would be using it for. I just don't, not for that price. This is such a value because it's 6 effects at a time that are really good effects. They ain't the absolute best effects in the world, but they are really, really good. And it's really, really versatile. And I guarantee you're gonna see a lot of keyboardists and saxophonists and everybody else is gonna be using this MS-70 CDR Plus. Watch what I tell you. But this joint here, like I said, for one effect at a time, you might as well just not do it. You might as well just get these 2. And you're going to achieve way more with these 2 than you will this one by itself. But that's just me. So that's enough for today. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. This has been another episode of All Bass Creations Effects Tutorials, Demos, and Review. And make sure you go check out my Patreon. Check out my packs for the MS-60B Plus, the Zoom B6 software, and my 47 piece pack for the C4 synth as well. So I'm gonna be coming out with packs for all these pedals as well. So stay tuned for that. So you'll be able to have all my personal settings from every single pedal. But thank you guys for hanging with me. I appreciate it. And you guys have a great evening. And make sure you subscribe, like, and share, and all that good stuff. I appreciate y'all. Check out the picture. Oh, if you want to check out my music, allbasscreations.bandcamp. I did an entire album with just effects and just bass effects. And then I did some singles where it's me playing piano, drums, and bass and everything myself. And 1 or 2 tracks where I used the guest drummer. But check all that stuff out. All social media at the Bass Negus. Please go to my other social media and check me out. I will greatly appreciate it. But if nothing else, at least go to the Patreon if you want